right, welcome back to the Big League podcast, I guess. Here in the morning with Jay in the Denver Dynamite and JR of the Somerville Moneyline.
What's going on?
Gonna give a little preview to the playoffs today. Didn't do a preseason podcast, so let's quickly break down these teams and what's happened here this season. Kind of same old in the Ice Conference. It's been a rotation of the same teams for about 5 seasons now. We'll talk about that. And the Fire Conference, we're gonna have a changing of the guard. Andrew deciding to walk away from the Rebels, but not before one more playoff run here. Let's see how deep he can take his team, sitting in the 2 seed, and then we've got a couple fresh faces we'll talk about as well. So let's start over in the Sapphire, and with our division winner, Baltimore. What do you guys think of this year's Blue Crab team?
I like him. Meaning, it's Steve's a guy who builds like I do, so I always like his teams. A lot of draft and develop talent, and he usually has good speed, and his offense is always top notch. But I mean, this is a balanced team. Defense is lacking, but outside of that, big starters. This is a strong team. A lot of lefties, so you can give some teams a problem when they're playing. If they're righty heavy on their pitching staff. So I like him. Don't love him.
Yeah. Deep team. Steve Westbrook is pretty good for starters. He made, I thought, a pretty fascinating move to trade away Matt Jacobs when he was in the thick of it, and then got hotter after that. But obviously, Steve is always looking to trade away everybody. But I think that might have helped if he had kept him around, but traded him for some future considerations.
Yeah, very interesting trade. I didn't want him in the division, so I was glad to see that Steve made that move. And I saw him at a Nationals game yesterday in some other league, and it makes sense that he runs his team just like they do, pretty much. So they'll get rid of middle of the lineup guy, just because they don't fit what they're doing. So that's it's I respect it, but definitely surprising. It makes sense that he runs his team just like they do.
It was a good return for a rental.
They'll get rid of,
but still, this is a team that's aiming to win now.
What they're doing. So that's, and he lost his closer, Guzzywitch or whatever his name is. I call him Guzzy. Anyways, that guy's the worst big spot pitcher in the history of the TBL as far as the playoffs are concerned. So I think that might actually help him out.
Addition by subtraction.
He's just horrible in the playoffs. So he's I think he's gonna be all right. He's going with Flores at closer, it looks like. So I haven't seen that yet until just now. We'll see what happens there. He loses a ton of games in the 8th and 9th inning in the playoffs. That's their bugaboo. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's part of the Baltimore plan, isn't it? To lose
Yes. Yeah.
This team did have a good second half of the season. I was kind of peeking at them earlier. I think they went 23-4 in August, and they were above 500 in September and October. So coming in hot. I actually didn't think they were going to win the division. So props to Steve for not collapsing down the stretch. I think he didn't watch. I think he watched maybe through clutched fingers, though, if we're being honest. But
he watched. See, Steve's a guy who you gotta like. He's the guy who needs to stay away from RTS, real-time sims, because you could tell he's watching, and things may be getting thrown around his house during a real-time sim in a text baseball game. But whatever, I'm sure it's happening.
Yeah. No, he's
a pretty good system. There's 6 top 100 guys still lingering in the minors for him.
Yep. I mean, he's lefty heavy. That's something that always sticks out to me. He builds a strong team. He doesn't have like the superstar talent that some other teams have. I don't really like Matheson's been great for him. I don't really understand this profile as much, at least by OSA standards. but year after year, this guy delivers.
Yeah,
Who else was
I
on there?
have.
Jennison as well. Oh no, yeah, maybe Jennison.
Yeah,
No,
the OSA
Paxton.
numbers I'm seeing here are way different than what my scout has. So, I mean, I see why they're successful.
All right. Yeah.
Matheson's a guy who truly has a good pitch mix, and it's something where he did with the quality of his pitches. It looks like he's just getting things done as long as he keeps the ball in his zone.
Yeah. Just impressive. He does a lot with. I feel like the right, he finds the right pieces. So.
It's something where
Yep. Second place in this division. Talking about the money line.
There we go. Yeah. A lot of rookies, 12 rookies on this postseason roster, and got a lot of support from them. They're flanking who I consider the best offensive combination in baseball. The Repo Men, Reyna and Posey and Reyna. So I assume somebody there is going to win the MVP this year, but they got to be hot in the playoffs. Jose Lopez, I expected him to be a near Rookie of the Year contender. I think he's going to lose out to the guy in New Orleans who had a monster year. But, he's just another Somerville type player that we put in the top of our order. Led the league in doubles, hits. So we're happy to have him. Very versatile. Still yet base. And then, we got three rookies in the starting rotation. We don't care. I don't care. We're just going with it. We'll pull them out of the game. We'll go to some more gas cans in the bullpen. I mean, that's the thing there. So the offense has really got to carry this team. That's the whole thing I'm trying to do here. And it's house money for us this year. Somehow, the only reason that the SI cover came out regarding the offense is because we've somehow got ahead of Denver, run scored for the first time ever. So that's it's got to be the offense. Got to create runs on the bases, cause havoc, wreak havoc, and go from there.
Yeah, Posey had a monster year. I mean, that eight WAR, and that's only playing 3/4 of the season. That's wild.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be on pace to set the record in WAR, which I once again don't care about. I think WAR is. It depends on the context. I could have put his stolen bases slider through the roof and probably got him there somehow, some way. But I don't care. I need his bat. He had a Ted Williams triple slash year, leading the league in average on base percentage and slugging, 30-30 year, 340. I'm not looking for him to go crazy on the base paths. I need him in the middle of the lineup. But
Yeah, when Reyna is your second best hitter, you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I know Reyna's better, but I thought Posey was the MVP last year. I think Reyna kind of stole it from him, and then we'll see what happens this year because the AI loves Reyna.
Yeah, and Lopez led the league in doubles with 57. That's impressive.
57, yep. And I kind of broke him in the bottom of the lineup. That he just blossomed. So, he'll get I think a couple more plate appearances at the top of the order. He's not leaving in a one spot for a long time.
Yeah, Snyder had an insane year also.
Yeah, he's a reverse split guy. He's nasty against lefties. We extended him for that reason. He's better against lefties than he is righties. So I love that. I love the reverse split when you have on any pitcher. I love a reverse split, but he's insane with it. Nasty against lefties. We extended him for that reason.
How far the money line going to go this year?
First round exit. Because the next team scares the living shit out of me. I don't like them. This is the rotation I did not want to see.
Yeah, on to the New York Empire and JG's team. This is a team that's kind of underachieved the last few years. Not in terms of wins, but just like early round exits in the playoffs. But they have a stacked lineup as well. Hit the long ball for sure. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah.
It's a balanced team. I mean, they've got a really strong rotation with Lott, who is one of the best pitchers in the TBL. He's certainly very consistent. And Perez is also quite good. So they're in really good shape for their rotation. They picked up a pretty good closer in Metzger at the deadline. And yeah, it's just I mean, they've got some really strong talent on offense as well.
Yeah. I think Eaton, I talk about my guys being the most valuable player, whatever. There's more than one of them. And Eaton is only one of those guys in New York. I know there's some other guys who are very good. You look at their ratings or whatever, but Eaton holds it together. This guy played second base. Putting those numbers, that's kind of crazy. He's just very versatile, reliable. He's I think if he played in the other conference, he would have maybe an MVP more, but he's got two. He's truly worth every penny, and New York's up against it with the salary, but you gotta go forward with Travis Eaton. He's a great, in his prime, Hall of Famer in this league.
Yeah, I find it fascinating that he's spent most of his career at first base, even though he's a very capable defender at second and short. Also, I mean, he could be the best shortstop in the league, but he's typically been playing first base. He was on the block, and I did my best to acquire him with zero assets, but I could not get JG to fight.
Yeah, I think what happened with that? I think JG he put out a message saying that he was going to deal him to you, which was a total lie. So I'm literally at work. I'm like, yo, let me.
For me, it led me to send him 16 DMs offering every single player I had, and it didn't work.
It works because I literally stopped what I was doing in real life and I messaged him. And I was gonna give him whatever you were offering plus, and I can't afford Eaton. I can't afford this guy, but it's something I was gonna do.
For the health of the league.
He has Ron Stone in the leadoff spot, and Ron Stone led the Ice Conference in home runs for the third straight year. Which is kind of cool to have power out of the leadoff like that.
Yeah, which is his stadium, I think, is bandbox. And in our division, it's one of the few. We have big, huge stadiums in our division, and yeah, if you can get a ball in the air there, you can put up some big years.
Yeah, he's had a great career, Ron Stone.
Yeah.
And he got Metzger at the trade deadline from San Diego, so was active a little bit.
Number 99. Yeah, he's had a great career.
I hated that move from as a competitor. I was a little angry at Alex for that. I didn't tell him yet, but Alex asked me about Quentin Cook.
Oh.
Yeah, well, he wanted me to. He asked me if I was if I would trade like 5 picks or 6 picks for Quentin Cook, and I was literally at Citi Field on opening day, a couple beers down, and I thought about that Metzger trade, and I was a little angry, and I told him I'm not drunk enough yet to discuss Quentin Cook, and he kind of ghosted me, so I apologize to Alex on that, but screw you for trading Jake Metzger into our division. And I thought about don't like that, and I was a little angry, and I told him.
All right, and then to discuss Quentin. On to the fourth team here in the Sapphire are the Reapers. Mike is he's kind of been the other usual suspect here in the playoffs the last couple of years. Done a really great job turning the franchise around. What is this, third or fourth straight playoff now?
Yeah, it was a very slow, methodical rebuild, but he is reaping, no pun intended, the benefits of that now. It's a really strong team and with a lot on the way still in the pipeline. Very slow.
Yeah, I like how he's a gambler when it comes to making these trades, and some of them work out very well. He had a young player, Trevor Jordan, that he moved to Milwaukee, who hasn't really developed, and he gets a guy like Ojeda, but whatever. You know, he's not the best hitter, but he gives him a little bit more fear in the middle of the lineup. But you know, it's a team that is finding its way as far as offense is concerned. He was mentioning the home run ball. I tell him not to worry about it. You know, it's for him. It's about the gaps, having good base running, etc. And you know, he got hit by injuries. He got smoked by injuries in that bullpen that we're seeing right now. But he still has a couple people there, right?
Yeah, they're okay. The guys he's got left, Pritchett. I mean, they've got terrible control. There's kind of the Somerville type reliever, right?
Yeah. We don't care about control.
Yeah.
That we're seeing right now, but he still has a couple people.
But,
this as long as you don't get wild in the zone, I'm not worried about it.
Okay, the guys he's got left. Yeah, and he's got Stephen Hoffman, who's good for 4 wins a year. That guy Hernandez had another great year.
This guy Hernandez has been. I think he acquired him as a free agent signing in an offseason where, once again, somebody forgot to either protect a player or whatever, re-sign a minor leaguer, and he was one of them, and he's turned into one of the best players in the league.
Yeah, released by the Vancouver Vandals. He was actually actively released, it looks like. He was just like a 19.
Actively released. Nice.
Nobody.
Just dubbed up, I think.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think somebody got, it might have been you, Jay. Somebody else got a pitcher from the Vancouver organization who, I don't know who it was. It might have.
There was, was it Nashville? Nashville got a couple of guys that were like auto-released and picked him up.
Yeah, those guys, auto-releasing the AI stuff, you know, it's always good for, for minor league free agent signings. I think minor league free agent signings are better than spending money on international free agents, overspending on draft picks if it's one way or the other. I mean, it's a good way of getting, a cheap way of getting a good player.
In Denver, we consider minor league free agents our draft.
Yeah.
Alex Guerra kind of had, again, I know you don't like WAR, but had the best WAR season for Carolina and came over from Rochester, and this guy's just had like a pretty solid career. Another funky profile, in my opinion, though.
Let's see, sidearm, sinker, fastball, fly ball. So he basically tunnels his pitches. So he's able to work off the fastball and sinker, and those other pitches, even though they're low rated, they're wrinkles. You know, if you have good control and you can keep everything in the same tunnel, those they become wrinkles instead of just bad pitches. So that's how he gets his stuff done there. You got to love that hold runner at 80. And those other pitches, even though they're low rated, they're wrinkles. You know, if you have control.
Off-season trade with Rochester.
Become wrinkles.
Steve Hoffman coming over to the Sapphire.
That's how he gets his stuff done.
And stealing 90 bases again this year. This guy is going to have an interesting plaque once we get toward the end. He's on pace to be a Hall of Famer, I think.
He may well get to 1,000 stolen bases. He and Jeff Bass are going to be neck and neck for the.
Yeah, he just can't fall off a cliff like next year or something. But he's in the fast lane.
All right, that's the Sapphire. Montreal came close this year. Was kind of in the driver's seat for a while. We'll just give them a brief look.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, didn't they have a positive run differential?
Yes, they did. In fact, by quite a bit.
Yeah.
They really composed attack-wise.
Bad luck.
And this is a tough division. Those 4 teams ahead of you, like Carolina, 4th place with 93 wins. That is
Yeah, our division. The division's tough. I always said that Montreal could make the playoffs. It should have made the playoffs in the other conference if in different years. Not this time around. Toronto was pressing towards the end, and I'm going to skip Philly because once again we were talking offline, Jay and I, and can't believe they traded another star to him. But whatever, I don't care. It's Philly. That's what they do. They don't care about their fans, and they should be turned into a parking lot. Boston is that move that they made on what's his name, the pitcher from KC, Potter.
Genius.
Look at genius.
Yeah, the guy was maybe Cy Young candidate this year.
They should be turned into a parking lot.
I think he'll be top 3 in voter of the year.
That move that they made.
Yeah.
Once again, 35 is a good enough. That's enough stamina, especially when you have that type of stuff, right? You're not wasting too many pitches because you're striking everybody out.
Yeah.
It's barely enough stamina, and if he falls even a smidge, he will no longer be considered a starter, and he's going to be making $48 million.
Well, this is Boston we're talking about. He will be a starter. He'll be a starter at 25 stamina. But he's the only thing that they go out to see every 5th day in Boston.
Right after that move, I believe it was Michael made a comment in the chat that this year they might only lose 102 games, and they only lost 101. So it was some improvement there.
Yeah, I have to think Boston thinks he's close too. If he's, trying to lock up Potter for that length, that maybe he has some youth coming up. But
what would you give up? What would you give up if he retained a little bit on that contract and were to offer Potter? I'd give up an awful lot.
Yeah, at this point, now that he's proven himself for a year, I think I kind of agree with you.
Yeah. And they're not in any payroll. They have no payroll problems there. I mean, that might be part of the rebuild.
Yep. I know Toronto was trying to tank again and accidentally won 77 games. Happens to the best of us.
It's a good sign.
But Kevin's almost out of that rebuild, I gotta think. Yeah. We'll look at matchups towards the end, but on to the J division, Rochester and Denver, 2 teams doing 2 very different things at the deadline, but finishing 99 and 63 at the top. And it looks like the split goes to Rochester, the defending champs, who get that first round bye.
Yeah, Michael is, as always, I could. There's a fascinating book to be written about Michael's GM history, and again at the deadline, he more or less traded away guys rather than acquiring, and still went on a heater. Ended up, just nudging the Dynamite out for the first round bye, which is a huge advantage to not have to play in the first round and get your guys healthy and not, run the chance of losing. But
yeah, that's why we should expand.
It's a pretty good team.
Sorry,
yeah,
keep going.
We'll talk about that, but whatever.
No, yeah, it's crazy, Jay. I'm shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely thought you stormed down the stretch and had kind of taken a 4 or 5 game lead, I feel like, almost, and somehow Michael snuck by and got that tiebreaker. And honestly, Baltimore, you guys were all sitting within 1 game of each other going into game 162. So if Baltimore had won in, because you both lost on game 162, who knows how that would have ended up. So, but yeah, who do you want to start with? Do you want to start with your team? You want to look at his team?
Let's start with his. He's the champion. He's the team to beat.
For sure.
And yeah, I mean it's a strong team as always. So Roy Bell is a monster at the top of the rotation. I'm just looking at him. It's the 3 straight years he ended up 17-4. How about that?
That is pretty nuts.
And third straight year he led the league in WHIP and BABIP. So he's a prevent contact kind of guy. Very very strong top of the rotation. And I messaged with him a little bit. He had this guy Toscani who I guess he fell off at the end, but he had a crazy year for somebody who on the surface doesn't look all that good. And then the guy he traded away, Christensen, one of the starters, also had a terrific year. And it's like I do not understand how these pitchers are performing as well as they are, but they did great for him.
Toscani
Yeah,
Rex too. Taking a gamble there. He's a minor league free agent.
Well,
so not much of a
something's
gamble.
going on right as far as the teaching of pitching. So I don't know what his organization is like as far as that's concerned, but it seems like whatever he's doing is allowing people to guys to throw a lot of innings, a lot of quality innings.
It's got a very very unique park. If you look at the
Yeah,
dimensions.
it's he builds his team for it.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the offense is an interesting mix as well. I mean, he is, it's a lot of high speed guys, and it seems like he's always asking for power, but then traded away his ostensibly best power guy to me, McIntosh, which I think was a gamble on health rather than talent. But it's a really interesting offensive mix for him. Bass fell off quite a bit, and I worry that he somehow may end up being a liability by the end of this contract. But he is, I guess, he still does okay defensively and on the bases.
The contract's obviously totally worth it because of the championship and what Bass has brought to the table everywhere. I think he finished up the championship series in center field, so his versatility played out. But the thing about Bass is he's just not hitting right-handed pitching, it seems like, anymore, right? So that's mostly what you're going to see. And I think I wouldn't get rid of him.
I mean, I don't think he's going anywhere. He's an Iron Man, and he can play the field, and he can play infield and outfield. I mean, he's a captain. This dude's a lifer. On Michael's team, maybe he's not a lifer. I never know what that dude's gonna do, but
I hope he trades him, because that would be a punch in the gut to the fan base. and hopefully he goes over to the Fire, where I won't have to see him anymore. But don't sleep on just the season numbers. He's a big game player, and it's interesting. I don't know where he's going to hit in the lineup for Rochester. I know he was down near the bottom a bit. It's interesting how his lineup has kind of changed over last 3 years, just moving guys in and out, like Jay said. And he's willing to make a tough decision in season when he could have really just held on to everybody and just dealt with the salary woes in the offseason. But he made the moves in season.
Yeah, this guy Egner, he's a 13th round pick. This is a Somerville special, the mid-round pick who makes it big, and he's turned out to be really.
Yeah, I think the draft is becoming flatter as the league matures. So you're going to be able to get those types of talents deeper. I just think that as far as overall potential are concerned, you're starting to see high schoolers that are coming in with overalls of 30s. It's anecdotal a bit. It's not the same for every scout, but you're seeing that there's like what they call a power creep where the younger talent's getting better as the league matures. So finding guys in these later rounds like Egner is something that can definitely happen.
We should just say quickly, R.I.P. to Josh Crodel, for
Yeah.
Right.
25 gone
He
too soon.
hit 1.2 innings in Rochester, and then
Yes, this is the guy. All right, so this is a pure example of how a organization's minor leagues could kind of ruin a guy. Because I don't know what he was doing in Vancouver, but if you look at Crodel's numbers, he must have been abused in Vancouver because he just, he was never good, but it probably wasn't his fault. But
No,
he was just getting better.
So 2022, he did 9.97 ERA.
Yeah. Yeah.
2054, 15.54.
Look at the injury history leading up to the career ender too. It's
So this is a situation where that overall potential are fake because the guy obviously doesn't want to play baseball anymore. And you can see why.
He escapes Vancouver, and then he finally.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm done.
Alrighty, and let's look at the other side of the coin here, and the Denver Dynamite. Jay, thoughts on your team this year?
Yeah, another fun year. Things turned out okay. I wasn't really sure how it would turn out. I was saying to JR before this, I'm not quite sure how long this train can keep going, but it seems like it kept going for this year and hopefully for next year as well. The goal is always to get good players at every position and not have holes, and so I feel pretty good about the top two in the rotation and okay about 3 and 4. It's a good bullpen, although the best guys are on the shelf right now, unfortunately. So hopefully some of them will. Hopefully we can make it through the first round, and some of those guys can come back. And then the offense, I think, is one of the strongest, if not the strongest, I've had just from top to bottom. Even though they're not as good as Somerville, as it turns out, in scoring runs, it's a pretty strong offense, and I feel confident against both left or right-handed pitchers. So I feel good. It's a good team.
Yeah, I don't I'm not a big Denver fan anymore.
What?
But you got to respect the way Jay does things. It's something where this offense is very home run centric. So 238 home runs. So that's up there, and he doesn't strike out. They don't strike out. 19.3% K rate led the league, so that's dangerous. That's a lot of you gotta figure out how to mitigate that, and that's how this team is built. I think that's something that plays well in the playoffs. Contact, damage to contact ratio, all that stuff. So this team exudes that. I just need to know if Kuznicki is going to be pitching in the first round. Is this guy pitching through the bicep strain?
Which guy? Kuznicki. No, I'm gonna.
Yeah, you didn't know he is. The guy that Philly gave you for nothing.
Which one of my all-star closers?
Your real name?
He was really good. Yeah, he's going to be nicknamed Kuz Nasty when we get around to.
All right.
Yeah, man, I'm behind on those. Sorry. Yeah.
But yeah, I was happy and a little surprised to get him. He pitched really well. But yeah, I am not one to have guys play through injuries, particularly pitchers with arm injuries. I think there's enough of a performance hit to begin with, and then there's the risk of further injury and all that. So I'm gonna let him rest up, hope that I can make it through the first round and come back.
That's what I would do. I mean, it's a bicep strain. This the injuries make sense. It's gonna be something that could turn into one of those 15-16 month things. So yeah, I would definitely do the same thing there.
But yeah, I was happy to pick up some significant reinforcements along the way. Morgan Allison had a great year, and he's an excellent player. Very happy to pick him up. And McIntosh, I always love a good rotten apple trade. So that was fun to acquire him for the 6 games he plays before he goes out for his career. And even a little guy, John Camarn, he is a decent second baseman, and I was glad to get a little reinforcement in that area as well.
Obviously, we don't need to talk about your system because they're all 38-year-olds, but you know.
It is always fun to see how deeply I can dig into that list of guys. And the highest rated guy I have currently is number 279 by OSA. So look out, league. They're on their way.
I will say you're almost back to a point where I can maybe root for your team again. Slightly.
Yeah, I mean,
because you didn't win. I mean, Michael won last year, and you haven't won a championship for like 3 years now.
It's you know, the podcast trade embargo has been lifted.
Yep. Yes.
We don't go crazy when people trade with you anymore. It's so good job. I thought you were up against it with the salaries and the payroll, and then you're right back to where you were at. Every year, $250 million payroll. Even though a lot of that's over budget trading.
Yeah, you're only locked into King, and that was a steal. I feel like to get him so young.
Yeah, he's a very good pitcher. He had not performed quite as well as his ratings would have indicated before he came to Denver, and he's been quite good.
Yeah, I mean, part of that's the team you put around you. You got to understand if you're a rebuilding team with a superstar, their numbers aren't going to look as good. Paul Skeens could be. Paul Skeens could be even better. Hashtag. You guys are going to be battling it out here. I think a lot of evenness at the top of the Ice Conference could be really anybody, but it's really up to the Sapphire teams to prove they can push through and win that championship this year. And then the Mudcats are the last team to sneak in, and that's just kind of funny to me. Ryan did say he believed in this team and thought they could make the postseason, so he was happy with their push at the end. But didn't have them on my radar all year long, and then right at the end, they kind of snuck in. You can kind of look at the squiggly line here. It wasn't really. I mean, it was in the lead for a minute, but sleeper.
They were the strongest team of those teams that were fighting for it, and they almost got the SI cover instead of the race for the fire, conference. So. It's a team that is, that has two young, good bats at the top of their lineup in Chenault and who's it, Nolasco, and it's revitalized. They had Dilworth before, right? Now he's not. He's gone.
Is this the rookie of the year candidate, Chenault?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Andy Chenault. Huh? Yeah.
Chenault.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever way it could be, That's one of those where it's New Orleans, and they can pronounce that any way they want down there. So, but I mean, it's something where McReynolds is hot. I mean, not hot. He's back, I should say. That was a huge loss for them last season, but he came back, and Joe Barnes is an ace. So, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, Chenault is another mid-round pick, 12th round guy who has turned out to be pretty good. 6.4 WAR, led the league 125 RBI.
Yeah, should be the Silver Slugger at third base. So as good of a rookie year as you can have.
Yeah, and Barnes is not a guy you want to go up against. He's certainly one of the best pitchers in the league.
Yeah, that's tough for Steve, I think, because of all the lefties that are in the lineup. But at the same time, Barnes, I don't think is going to be pitching game one, right? So he may only see him once, but you don't want to see him twice.
Yep. I never count out New Orleans to at least win a round.
Yeah, they beat us many times in your past.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think you probably want to see them knocked out in the first round.
Yes.
They've beaten me in a lot of series. I don't The 81 and 81 is fake to me. I wouldn't want to see them right now.
They're a 100-win team in my book.
Yeah.
And Las Vegas was in the playoffs last year. They just missed this year, 80 and 82. They struggled early and kind of pushed strong late. Good August, good October, chunky September.
Yeah.
Missed out.
Their rotation is a mess. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I guess it's just injury probably, but nobody in that rotation is anybody.
Oh, wow, look at the injury list. That's actually scrollable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Christian
And
Laredo.
these guys are
great to see it.
Yeah.
Jason
these guys
Tyson.
are guys who get injured.
Yeah, I mean
These guys are-
they're two superstars. Are both on the
Yeah.
injury list. Well, I guess Laredo's in the lineup, but
Yeah, another great Laredo season. This guy is going to be, if not the best, one of the best by the time he hangs
Yeah.
out like in Arena.
His numbers tell you exactly what's wrong with the team because this guy only has 74 RBIs.
Yeah.
That tells you that the lineup construction is just not. There's nobody around him.
Yeah.
That's gonna really wreak havoc and push the lineup around. So you could see the guys obviously who are the culprits, but he needs to surround Laredo with talent because of Laredo's contract.
Yeah. I'm going to formally call for a rebuild in Las Vegas.
Well, yeah, there's another guy, Laredo. How much is it worth it
you can't
to
do much for
take
Laredo.
on?
They've got a no trade clause. He's got a no trade clause.
Yeah.
Oh, he got no trade. That's right. Yeah.
But if they suck hard enough, he'll want out.
Yeah, for sure. Still going to be a lot though. I mean, he's 32. You got to hope he keeps his production up because 26 a year at retained.
Yeah, even at 26 a year, it's kind of like, all right, well, do you want to pay him for 5 years?
Today I
4
do.
more years.
Tomorrow I might. I don't want to.
Well, where does he play? Does he? I mean, he can play right field. Is he able to still play it without getting injured? He's injury proneness is normal still. I guess he could still be.
I mean,
he could still be that guy.
Yep.
He could. I would train him
For a while.
at this point to get him ready for that.
Yeah.
You're likely
I'd have
losing
him in
at the end
left.
of the contract, but
Yeah.
and then the other guy, Bassett. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah.
Not willing to waive his no trade clause as well. He just got an extension, which I guess
He got an extension.
Well, it makes sense
Oh, my goodness.
if you can't trade him.
I guess.
Would it let him walk? You don't want those 36-year-old guys hanging around.
Yeah, he was,
Well, if the guy does.
he is wrecked. He is wrecked.
Yeah, he's wrecked. Exactly. So, I would consider. I mean, that's a lot of. I don't know. I guess it's a good signing. I can't rip it
24 million
because
a year for a popular guy, and if you're not trying to compete, I don't think that takes up too much of the books.
But that's the thing is he should be trying to compete.
Well, no, I don't know. Differing opinions there. I think Jay just said you should be tearing
Yeah,
it down,
I-
right? Like so.
I vote rebuild. There's just not enough there to make this work.
The bottom three teams, I don't see anything to talk about right now.
I like how Galveston rebuilt, and not only because they made a trade with me to do it. The Gavin Sadler, just taking him off of waivers and taking on his contract was, I thought that was great for that franchise, and he needs to. And Ashton Turner is the next big star in the league in Galveston. He might be the best player in baseball very shortly.
Yeah, look at that.
Great year.
5.5 WAR, only 97 or 84 games started.
A lot of good rookies this year. Look, yeah, that's quite a line for half a year.
Yeah, he's scary.
Yeah, they were kind of in the driver's seat for a bit down the stretch. Just couldn't hang on. It's funny. So I was saying, the Ice Conference has been pretty much the same old. You can plug in Las Vegas, and I think that's it. And these other, 8 teams haven't been in the playoffs since 2023, I think. And that was Toronto and Galveston, I think.
The Jade was so strong at the top for a while that the teams at the bottom convinced themselves that they couldn't compete, and then they went into rebuilds, whether it would be with these GMs or whoever was there before. And that's a tough hole to dig out of. So the Durham, the Fort Collins, Tampa Bay, it's gonna, it's tough to dig out, especially now that I think there's a lot of parity in the league and a lot of active GMs making shrewd moves.
Yeah. I'm curious. Okay, so I mean, given those 8 teams, if you were to circle one to break out as a perennial contender in the next 5 years, who are you picking?
Oh, Galveston.
I would say Toronto is on its way, and Fort Collins has a lot of future stuff coming down the pipe.
Yeah, I like those picks. Fort Collins definitely has...
Stop talking about Fort Collins, because they made another interesting trade, trading a guy with a lot of control to you.
Yeah, we can talk about both sides.
More of that Fort Collins trade.
That you can't make moves like that, and I'm sorry. You can let the guy go in free agency. You can do a lot of things, but the guy's making $500,000. You cannot trade him to Denver.
Yeah, what we need, I think, what we need. So I was talking, I made the big trade with Fort Collins as well. I gave him 2 firsts for a couple closers, and Tim told me he doesn't know the market, so.
Okay, that's good to know. Never mind.
So he doesn't know what a fair trade is. So he said, just make him the best offer. So I was like, you know what? I'm the commish. I'm gonna make him the fairest offer I think I can. And so I gave him the last 2 minutes. I gave him a really good deal. With that being said, maybe we need a disclaimer when a GM joins the league. It's like, by the way, most GMs here are not going to offer you the best deal right away. So you may have to push back a little bit.
Well, all right. Let's go on.
Because I do think Allison maybe got away for less than.
Yeah, he got away. A slight tangent, because for some people who don't know, Paul asked for some of us OGs to make a one-sheeter for new guys in the league, new GMs who come to the league, and that was my one-sheeter was yelling at people about the trade market and what it really is. I don't care about the mechanics of OOTP. These are 30 human beings that all processes stuff differently, and knowing the market is very tough. It is very tough coming into the league. I think that's the number one thing that you need to know as a GM coming into this league.
I think 2 things are hard too. One, sometimes talking with someone making that first offer, no one wants to be the first one to make the offer sometimes, but when you have an offer and when you are talking with someone about something, present that to 5 other GMs who might need that piece, and just see where the market's at. Talk around a little bit. Yeah, not always the case. Sometimes it's a flip to flip situation, but
it totally depends on how engaged the individual GM is. Also, there are plenty of people that obviously should be selling, right, and they don't even post guys on their trade block, and
for sure.
So if you're engaged, then yeah, you're doing all that stuff. But a lot of people are just not going to take the time to do that.
Yep. I mean, it's just the GMs at the bottom. If you want to get to the top, you got to pull as much value as you can out. So yeah, it's worth it with the superstars, I think, to just sit back and take your time a little bit.
Yeah. Let's get this fire.
Extent, this is. I mean, I love this player rankings list, and if your name's on this list, then you're worth a lot.
Yeah, and you just don't. How much is he making? He's got 5. This is his. How many? What's his service time at? All right, so
be in arbitration next year. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you have, this is not a salary capped league, but it's like a soft cap, right? You can't. Yeah, basically. Just as far as the value of a player like that, it's tough to move off of a guy like that who is basically carrying your whole franchise for $500,000, and whatever happened.
Yeah, onto the Fire Conference.
My favorite conference.
Your favorite
right
conference.
Now. Let's start right now. It was fun.
Let's start up in the Topaz. Because I think we were talking. What do you think? You thought the Ruby was stronger this year. I thought the Topaz was stronger this year. I guess it's kind of a coin flip.
Well, let's look at the runs scored by Virginia, Louisville, and Oklahoma City, and that's
I guess the run differential is a lot stronger in the Ruby, right?
Yeah, well, none of those teams, even down to Kansas City. Actually, let me look at the best offensive team was St. Louis, and the other teams were basically the bottom of the TBL in offense.
I don't want to talk about my team, so let's start with the Topaz.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is fascinating. They had 620 runs scored, so 15th in the league, and then the best run prevention, 515.
Yeah,
exactly. So the philosophy, it's everybody has a different philosophy.
Defense.
Yeah, so they're getting it done with run prevention. Whatever. I mean, maybe they are the best, but they don't score runs. None of these teams score runs.
Right.
Andrew kind of went with defense in the long ball. He was third in home runs in the Fire Conference. Yeah. Everybody in this lineup hit double digits in home runs. So it's kind of an interesting way to construct the team.
I think this happens in every division. They construct the team to combat their mates. So a lot of pitching, a lot of defense, a lot of speed. And that's just the way what's this conference? What's this division again? The Topaz works.
Let's talk about Andrew's legacy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's been here
Sorry
since.
To see him go.
Yeah, for sure. He's been one of the most solid GMs on the Fire side since he joined, which I always forget exactly what year that was. It was pretty early on.
He said 27 years, so.
There was definitely one GM here before him, but I forgot.
Yeah, I remember that GM.
Was here
I don't,
at least a year, but so maybe like even year 2 he was here. But
yeah,
let's take a look at his record. Manager list. Anybody? Andrew, here we go. So, 2,044 wins, 1,845 losses. Outstanding reputation, which is the truth. He was really good.
Well, you buried the lead. You have 2 legendary GMs on your podcast right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
What am I?
Who cares about Andrew? Let's get into what's really going on here.
Oh no. I'm only excellent. That's terrible.
But how many is it?
I'm doing the math right now. So we've got
you gotta do math.
3,889 games divided by 162. So we've got 24 seasons. 24 seasons here. So he missed 21, 22, 23. Came in 2004. So let's give that context again. Let's take a look. So came here in 2004, made the playoffs right away. And the rest is history.
Yeah. The years he didn't make the playoffs, so those are always when we look at the legacy of the years that guys don't make the playoffs are the most impressive sometimes to me, because it's just like, you could definitely say, screw it, I don't want to play anymore, whatever, just let somebody else take this over. But he brought it back stronger than it was before, and he won a championship in that second stretch there.
Yep. This is his 8th straight year in the playoffs. He's won the division 4 of the last 8 years. No, 4 of the last 6 years. So actually he's kind of dominated the Topaz silently.
Yeah, it's great.
Yep. So Andrew, hats off. We wish you the best of luck with your engagement and everything moving forward. And of course, if you ever want to come back to the league, you're always welcome. So hope you reach out.
You will not put him in the Ruby. I know that.
I will not. No. Hopefully he end up in the ice conference somewhere.
Yeah, whatever.
Next up is Chuck, Louisville. This team has been up and down, in and out of the playoffs for a couple of years now, but they really bounced back in a big way this year. Can't click. Take a look at their
nice
history.
To see them back.
Yeah, so missed in 20. This is kind of like the every other year mode, right? Every even year they like to miss the playoffs, and every odd year they like to get in. So
yeah, it's that's what happens when I think he's really a pitching. This is a pitching franchise. If you want to get a good arm, I recommend getting it from Louisville, because he does a good job. up and down his organization with pitching. Offense, once again, is a challenge, but and that's one of those ABC fundamental baseball teams.
Yeah, really similar model to Virginia, just a little bit less. Mendoza had a really good year. The top of the rotation, he's a good pitcher.
Yeah, Mendoza is still super young and at least underdeveloped by my head scout, but pitching really well. Led the league in wins. Not that means much, but 10th round pick, pretty interesting. I think we kind of pointed out in past podcasts, a lot of the star pitchers, it is more of a lottery. You can get those guys later in the rounds.
Don't tell anybody that.
Don't pay attention late in the draft.
Yeah, I still got to sell my first round pick for whatever.
We've got rookie Ryan Wallace on the DL right now. This guy only pitched 9 innings this year, but he looks really good. Who knows if they use him here in the playoffs?
I wouldn't, but why not?
Oh, I would. Yeah, I mean, what is he there for? Not to pitch. He'll be back in 3 days. I would.
The guy's thrown 25 innings, and this year.
Yeah.
What kind of injury is he coming off of?
Sprained elbow.
Sprained elbow, dead arm, ruptured. All right, whatever. Pitch him. Go ahead.
I mean,
I still think the guy's pitched enough.
I might throw him in the bullpen, but you're right. I mean, he's not going to get a warm-up session coming back. It'll be right into the fire. So
sure. Well, he just never pitched this season. So, there's under the hood ratings. There's what you see. I mean, the guy probably is.
But I mean, if you're choosing between him and I don't know, Brady Stratton, I would go with the talent.
Who's Brady Stratton?
He's just some random fourth starter.
See, yeah, I guess. I don't know. Brady Stratton's not going to come off the mound in the first inning and then leave your bullpen hanging out to dry for a whole entire series.
He can be the long reliever. Step in.
Yeah, I get, whatever. No. Throw him out there.
Yeah, I realize this is the opposite of what I was saying for day-to-day injuries earlier, but I do think it's kind of a different thing.
It's different when it's not your guy. I hear you.
I'm not gonna pick him at all for the playoffs. No, I'm gonna get him in there somehow.
Yeah, this team. I think. I don't know. They strike out a lot of guys. They play good defense. No one really blows me away. So, I think anytime you build a team around defense, you're doing a good job as a manager because it's not what pops out at you on the stat page. So, yeah. Chuck's done a good job getting back there and getting back into the 90-win column.
Yeah, the strikeouts are impressive because he limits the balls in play. The balls that are in play, they take care of. So he can lock somebody up in the playoffs and win a lot of low-scoring games.
OKC in the playoffs again, and Reese has gotten the team here a couple years in a row now. This is going to be season number 3.
He made a couple of win-now moves in picking up the aforementioned Matt Jacobs, who's a huge bat for the middle of the lineup and a huge jackass in the locker room.
Yeah.
And Joel Smith, who also has a terrible personality. I had kicked the tires on him with Vancouver a time or two, and seems like a guy who's more than the sum of his parts. His ratings are okay, but he's really had a couple of pretty good years.
Winning solves everything. I don't know what his chemistry page looks like, but nobody's having a problem, and it's interesting to see Jacobs and Smith. Steve mentioned that when he made the trade with OKC that he got a couple rookies back that more than made up for it on his side. Jacobs was good for OKC. So that's a trade that both GMs seem to like. Ooh, another Somerville guy at the top of the lineup. That's good. And Tercios. But yeah, I mean, this is, I guess, the team that has the best offensive out of these teams in this division.
A little sad to see old blue Brian Marlin slipping quite a bit this year. He was sub replacement level.
Yep, he's had the last year of that monster contract, so Reese timed it just right, I'd say. But he definitely might be towards the end now in terms of his.
Yeah, I mean,
superstar.
hang it up at age 31. That'd be tough.
Listen,
it happens.
The real estate market in Mexico City is always booming.
Right for a 5-year deal.
Yeah, I don't know. Brian Lee's on the pine as well for 6 weeks. This is a blow. This guy's got a pretty good profile. I feel like only 22 years old.
Yeah, his control may never be quite good enough to do the trick, I think.
This is another guy. A lot of pitching injuries this year.
Yeah.
And I mean, this guy's developed pretty well. I just want to see. I always like to look at these pitchers to see if it's a workload thing. It could be a workload thing. This guy went from high school almost to the show in a couple of years, and he peaked at 156 innings without really ever getting that type of work. So Brian Lee is a guy that's another interesting.
Yeah, he's had a fair number of injuries in a short career. So.
A lot of injuries, just never really got a lot of time in the minors.
Yeah, he's on the Greg Tarver train, I think.
Yeah.
Looking at the next team in the Topaz, it is the Herons, and Daniel, got this team back competing, but kind of choked down the end. I feel like they were leading this division for a while this year. Unfortunate miss. Where's the team stats page? Here we go. Yeah, had a really good April, May, and then just kind of moved into 500 range and never really was able to make that push.
Yeah, and they were 8 games ahead of their Pythag. They gave up more runs than they scored, so this was a team that definitely exceeded their underlying talent. Yeah.
Yep.
But they have some good pieces. I mean, Christensen was mentioned before. Across both conferences, he actually won 20 games. He was 20-4 with a low 2 ERA. He had a great year, and again, I don't quite understand how he's been as good as he's been, but he certainly put it together this year.
Are we talking about Andy Christensen?
Christensen. There are too many Christensens on this team. Look at the top guy in his
Mark.
rotation.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think it's the exact same last name, right? It's just
it is.
They must be brothers. 27 and twins? No, I don't know. Yes, nice piece here. That trade worked out.
Yeah,
I feel like depends what you do with him in the future, I guess.
But I mean, he's a free agent, so
yeah, 27. Hopefully, he holds on to that.
Steep price to pay for a rental, but yeah, if he's willing to extend, then it's worthwhile to do that.
I mean, this guy hasn't had a cold since 2024. I would definitely look to extend him.
Well, we know a cold can end someone's career.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hey, nothing's guaranteed, but
yeah, that was a good trade. I was thinking about trying to do that, but it's hard to deal for pitching without giving up everything. Led the league in triples. The Hurons did. Stolen bases. He was asking about that. They led the league in that as well. So a lot of speed, and I don't see too much on the pitching side. Led the Fire in quality starts by a lot. Had 86 quality starts. Phoenix was second, was 75. So a lot of good things. You can see if you look at those specific numbers how they won 85 games. They were in a lot of games. Maybe didn't finish as many games as they should have.
Santamaro remains really good.
Yeah.
The ratings have slipped a bit, but he will end his career as one of the best relievers of all time.
It's happened a few times in history, but I feel like Christensen probably would have won Pitcher of the Year, or at least been high consideration.
Yes.
But since he switched conferences, he's not going to get a vote. Most likely.
He'll be forgotten.
Exactly.
GM or the
BJ Swart, 2011. I'll never forget.
Right.
Although I might be getting the year wrong.
Tough season. Tough season for them and the next team.
Yeah.
That finished below them.
Well, I think we kind of expected the Scouts to take a step back. Maybe not miss the playoffs. Take a step back after being a game away from winning a championship. Up 3-2 in the championship, I think, and then losing 2 at home to Rochester.
Yeah.
Of course, I also want to mention for the Outlaws when we were on that on their page, Reese was in Game 7 of the conference championship last year, so that team's trying to get back there. But yeah, I mean Marty Kilby, he's maybe the best pitcher in the TBL, and that freak injury in the playoffs was insane.
Yeah, he was so good last year. Hopefully he comes back in good shape.
I'm pretty sure he lost a no-hitter with 8 2/3 in the postseason last year.
Yeah. Whatever could go wrong as far as roster decay as well and injuries kind of went wrong for Kansas City because, you had that injury. Brad Wilson takes a step back on a monster contract. He gives you a lot of innings still, but, it's not. Yeah, it's
$40 million a year for an average.
Arturo Garcia seems like Rivera seems like he's human. Over the last couple of years, even though the strikeout numbers are big, he's still pretty elite. A little bit of slippage.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about that guy.
No, I think he had a better year than last year. Significantly better.
Yeah, but at the same time, he was lights out. He was before that,
I'm not gonna complain on a guy that gives me 237.
It's a little bit of a step back. It is a little bit of a step back. It really is.
JR's trying to acquire him on the cheap.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
He's gonna be wearing orange next year.
This guy terrible.
Yeah. Oh, look at that contract. My God, I would pay. No, he's not willing to waive his no trade clause.
We're 50% retained.
Yeah.
He wants a first
The
rounder.
Vultures are circling the Scouts right now.
So what? I saw. Listen, the minute I saw what's his name go to Boston, Potter. I want pitchers out of this organization.
Free agency, this is, though. He couldn't sign everyone.
This is a credit. I always say this about Kansas City. He for an expansion team, this guy has a ton of talent. He loses it because of the budget constraints. But I'll take a player from him anytime. This guy knows how to develop some really good players.
Yeah, no, for sure. He's a talented GM. He's built a really good group here, and I think once Kilby's back next year, I think he can be back in that competitive window. But you're right, Rivera's locked up for a long time. Wilson, it is what it is with that contract, but his money's locked in to these 3 guys. So if one of them really steps back,
except for Potter.
Yeah, except for Potter. But again, that's a tough call. I mean, I guess maybe you drop one of these 2 older guys.
Right. Yeah.
But,
makes sense.
If you don't believe Potter's a starter, which I think there was at least a question about that, right? Like, I don't think we knew it was going to work. It did work, but...
Well, he had no choice because of the money he has committed. Potter is probably asking for $50 million as far as an extension is concerned. And you get to the point where you can't go to $200 million payroll if you're Kansas City. You just can't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can if you continue trading away picks like Denver and working
that's the only way navigate that. Yeah, let's talk about Nick Henson. Poor guy.
Yeah, career's done.
That's sad. And,
He's signed for another year. I hope he doesn't come back. Whenever I see a guy like drop this far off the cliff, I hope he just walks away.
He is now at 99.9 career WAR, so he has successfully under the 100 bar.
No. That's too bad.
Well, yeah, that's a shame.
Oh, go ahead.
Last thing on Henson, even seeing his ERA at a 2.64 career ERA is just like, it seems very high, but yeah.
Well, sure, yeah, it's gone up a bit. He's sort of the Roger Clemens, Greg Maddox path of being like an okay guy for the last 3 or 4 years.
We won't talk about those last couple teams, at least for this one. Sure. We'll switch over. We'll say Nashville's getting a new GM soon. I think Kevin is walking away from Nashville. He was kind of a quiet GM, so we'll see who comes in and can try to turn around that franchise, which might be, I'm definitely going to say bottom 3. A bottom 3 team and definitely a challenging turnaround. Not sure what St. Louis's plan is. They've made some big trades, traded away some really strong pieces.
Shout out for extending James Domine. He's another.
Yeah.
He's 35 and is now under contract for 4 more years.
Still raking.
He's still a lot of runs. He will exceed 500 almost certainly, but that contact is dwindling quickly. So we'll see.
Well, led the league in OPS and slug. So this is a guy who's a Hall of Famer. And as long as they're running him out, running that corpse out to shortstop, it's going to solidify that, because who cares about fielding? I mean, he's hitting at a all-time level at that position. Even though
on Milwaukee, since we're slipping past them, shout out for Jesus Espinoza, who had an amazing rookie year as well.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like a future star.
Yeah, I was going to shout out just Milwaukee. Made the playoffs last year, took a little step back. We kind of felt like they were on the fringe last year, so not totally surprised, but also not someone to count out, I think, as we look at the next few seasons.
This is the key to this conference. Now we're seeing deep divisions where teams like Kansas City and Milwaukee are missing the playoffs in years like this. These are good teams. These are good teams with a lot of talent.
I will say, too, now we're 27 seasons into the TBL. There's a lot more depth in terms of GM talent in the league overall. And the GMs who aren't as engaged or aren't as skilled are definitely, they stick out a little bit more because there's a lot of vultures and a lot of deep builders now in the league. So
yeah.
Carl Perkins, you just clicked on Milwaukee. He was one of many guys that Denver sloughed off in a trade to acquire a big name, and he's turned out to be pretty good.
Yeah, Perkins, nasty. What I think this is rookie year. Maybe looks like he maybe just went over the limit last year, actually. So maybe sophomore year.
Yeah, he's had a couple of years.
Yep,
good player.
Yeah, for sure. No, there's some great pieces in this lineup. Yeah, don't want to sleep on Milwaukee. No disrespect meant by skipping over. For sure. On to the Ruby. We've got 4 teams in the playoff again this year from the Ruby. And start off with Johnny and the Bighorn Rams.
Another year at the top. What's their how many times have they won this division? Let's see. Seems like they're always winning this division, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, they missed the playoffs last year. But
But 3 first places in a row prior to that.
Yeah. So back where they feel comfortable at the top. I feel like they won 82 games last year, 80 or 82 games last year, even when they missed. So didn't disappear for too long.
Third baseman is a familiar name.
50 home run club for Adam Castillo.
Oh wow. Who's that guy? Yeah, he led the league in homers the last year too. I'm not keeping track of these home run leaders. That guy Ron Stone and this guy.
Well, the home run leaders aren't they're very just home run centric. I mean, Stone steals some bases, but they're all or nothing. These guys are hackers.
Yeah, he's got. You mentioned Frank Pedroza on this team, a good Swiss Army knife kind of guy, and then the best catcher in the league, and Travis Williams.
I love how this team is built for competition. They can hit the solo home run. That seems to be a big piece here that is gonna, because like we just mentioned, the whole division of teams that can't score a run any which way. This team scores runs with the home run ball in the postseason.
How about
huge.
Danny Hess? Danny Hess is another. I guess he is a rookie technically, right?
Yeah, he didn't.
Second year.
No, if you're under 80 games, you're on your rookie contract.
All right, well, the bats don't matter. I thought there was a bat limit. Yeah.
I think if you come up after the All-Star game, you don't accrue your service time.
Oh, yeah, but he's probably not eligible for Rookie of the Year. Now that I think about it,
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Well,
I don't know how the game judges it.
if he were,
do you think they're going to give this first baseman the MVP? We like to give it.
Yeah, Hess is not. Hess is not considered a rookie. Oh yeah, hold on a second. Maybe he is.
yeah, who is the MVP in this?
It's always tough to tell in the Fire Conference.
Yeah,
because it's so pitcher heavy.
It could be Domney.
Let's just give it to Quentin Cook. Why not? Yeah, good team, balanced.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see what they do in the playoffs. San Antonio has been the other kind of reliable team here on the side. Won the championship 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
And Kuro Iwa has been one of my favorite players since he got signed as an international guy back in 2024. Almost broke the stolen base record this year, off by 6.
Really? Wow. That is impressive.
Of the Chiles Picantes, obviously the best offense in the Fire Conference by most metrics.
Where's Curioa from? Fuck. Fuck.
He came in internationally.
Yeah. Nah, I have to read the name of the town that he's from, and I'm childish.
Okay.
Don't worry about me.
No,
They turned out well.
Marulanda has been really good over the last 2 years for the Picantes. Stumbling here.
I don't know how he gets away with it. San Antonio goes into every postseason and they just sign, whatever free agents out there.
Off-season, yeah.
Good free agents, big free agents.
Yeah,
at the end,
nobody committed. This is kind of what we usually see.
And it's always 1 year deals, and somehow the players fit. I don't know how that happens. How they fit into his scheme.
It is, like the marketing for that team must be so funny because you don't know who's going to be on the team until April 3rd.
It's a risky maneuver because if he ever got sick and missed an export, his whole team's going to be gone if he misses at the wrong time.
Right.
I don't think Daryl gets sick. I think he I don't know. He seems to be a guy who either drinks his way through it or something. I don't know. Daryl seems to be. He hasn't said much lately, but I don't know. He doesn't seem too respectful to the players or families. He's very he's a very unloyal GM, but somehow the players like it. And they go with it.
Respect his commitment to the bid. It's nice.
Yeah, I don't know. He seems like a maniac.
Well, he's been a successful maniac. Again, he's got a championship
a
couple years ago. He's been in the playoffs. I mean, look at this. What's this? 6 years in a row now. 10 of the last 11. He's been the most consistent GM in the Fire, in the Ruby, I should say. in the last
Unintended.
decades.
Just did. Yeah, he bring the chili picantes bring flavor. He brings flavor to the league. Guys do it in different ways, and he does it like no other GM does it. And he just, he's confident he's going to sign these guys and put a good team on the field, and he does.
Yeah, it's crazy. We actually have a lot of different GM styles in the league. It's pretty interesting to look at, like the way people construct their teams.
Yep.
I apologize. I'm gonna have to duck out
No worries.
a little early. Can I give three
Yes, let's hear it.
Trojan statements about the last teams? Spokane, impressed they made it back. Nice job. That's great. Phoenix, always happy to see them in the postseason. Oahu sucks. Sorry.
I know.
That was a rough one. Mexico City, love that they're signing everybody to 5-year deals that are 38 years of age and older.
Legacy
and then
signings.
San Diego or Vancouver. Vancouver is Vancouvering. San Diego is San Diegoing. They know their identities. So, but thank you. Appreciate you having me on. And good luck.
Jay.
Good luck, JR. I hope this is your year.
Thank you.
Like to see you take one home this time.
Oh my goodness, thank you. Good luck to you as well. That's it. That's all I can say.
Thanks as always, Jay, for hopping on and giving us your time. And good luck to your team. I hope it goes somewhat far, but not too far.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, JR, let's
all right.
finish off these last few teams. Sasquatches, we got to give Don some time here because he did a great job. He did a great job, and now he is in the playoffs.
I think he really just took over a team that needed some TLC, some just attention. Chris ran a good franchise as far as, just somehow getting talent. Wasn't, we do know he drafted too many catchers in the first round for some reason. But, it's a team that had talent. Don took it over. Don knows what he's doing. That's what, got him to where he is. But a couple injuries are lingering. Maybe a problem going forward.
Yeah, for sure. Bit by the injury bug a little bit. Defensive-led team. Had a really good defense this year. But just was kind of like above average in a couple different categories across the board. Just taking a look here. We got Tarver on the back end, so not the strongest bullpen compared to some other teams. But we'll see how that holds up in the postseason and, how he manages his team in the offseason, or in the postseason, excuse me. Justin Davis looks sexy. He's a couple years in now. Kind of took a step back from where he was last year, but still, again, talking about late round picks, 15th round pick for the Sasquatches. Yep. You mentioned the injury list. Huang hopefully right back in after just missing a day. So he's going to miss the first game, but then hopefully back in the lineup. But yeah, no, definitely a couple injuries. If they can get through the first round, Hebert might be back in there. So
yeah, it's good that he got back that quickly, because of course, this is a league where you want to have your fans engaged and build your budget, and everybody in Spokane should be happy to be back in the playoffs. Was not a surprise. Don's a good GM. You can tell that he knows what he's doing, as far as his plan and vision.
Well, definitely one thing to point out, with the exception of the starting lineup, we've got lefties everywhere. Everybody in the lineup, a switchy and 7 lefties, and then Todd Nelson there in the three hole, and then in the bullpen he's got 5 lefties towards the back end. So, yeah. Okay.
Like it.
Phoenix, back-to-back years in the playoffs for the first time since 2004 and 2005, I think.
Yeah.
And it was a battle, even on the last sim. There was some banter about not liking real-time sims, but then you win 6 in a row, and it all looks good.
Yeah. Well, Phoenix woke. Yeah, he woke back up. So that's good. The way Brendan's actually running the team is should be scary for everybody in that division, because now he is starting to really concentrate on just putting a good everyday team out. Another GM that knows what he's doing. It's just a matter of being aggressive, and now an aggressive Phoenix team is, they just moved right up the standings pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think they're a scary team now that they're in the playoffs, because Sudduth has kind of emerged as maybe the best pitcher in the TBL. He's definitely a top candidate, and I think he's going to win Pitcher of the Year this year, personally.
Yeah.
So he's going out as number one. Mike Taylor, who came over from Rochester in the trade last year,
One of those,
had a great
one of those
season.
aggressive moves that they didn't make before. Yeah,
Yep.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, all good. So, again, when you got 1-2 like that and it comes around, you can win a 4-game series. So, and then this team had an above average offense this year to go with those, 2 workhorses.
Yeah.
Zero defense. And that's kind of always been the Phoenix way, I feel like. And we'll see how that plays. But this is a team I definitely wouldn't want to face. I think they're kind of a wild card and can knock anybody out here in the Fire Conference this year.
They have teams that can bludgeon you in the Ruby, and it's such the contrast between the divisions in the Fire is stark. It's ridiculous.
I feel like the Rams and the Squatches are a little more even, but the Chili's, Picantes, and Firebirds are all offense. And then on this side,
they're looking to do one thing.
Such pitcher-heavy teams, it is pretty funny.
Yeah.
All right, we don't need to talk about anybody else. I guess we can wrap this.
Well, hold on a second. Let's talk about the last 4 teams here.
We'll briefly talk about the Paddlers.
Oahu got screwed by putting Don in the division. This team makes the playoffs.
I don't know if I can blame Don for my collapse.
You could blame Chris not just saying giving up the reins to Don as the reason. I think that this Oahu team is a good team. That's all I can say. And this is finally depth has hit the Ruby.
Yeah, we were 11 games above 500 at the trade deadline, and then let's just take a look at this. 15-8. Oh, smooth sailing. Winning month every single month, and then boom, August, and honestly half of September. So, yep, it was a sad fall of the Paddlers. I traded 2 first-round picks away for some back-end bullpen talent because I thought I believed for a moment. So now Fort Collins is gonna have a lottery pick at least next year, maybe the year after, because I'm thinking about tearing this thing down. So, we'll see what I can get in return for. Yeah,
the fans cannot be happy in Oahu, but
I had a great bullpen. Yeah. Barker, Calvert, Stanescu, Sotelo, Pena.
You're set up to be a very good team going forward. So I wouldn't. I think those moves are made for the future too. So, I think this team is. I don't know what your financial situation is.
My crowning achievement.
Yeah, you got a little money to spend. You might get a big bat in there. Who knows?
Yeah, my crowning achievement this year was to bring Marinelli back after Ola went down and make sure he's in a Boston uniform right now, which infuriates me. I got to fix that. But no, he didn't play a single game for Boston. I traded for him, and he came in and played pretty well for me. I traded for Tom Everett. Thought it plugged my second base hole. He played okay. But yeah, disappointing to miss for sure.
Yeah, that's all good.
Bottom 3 teams.
The only team I'm not going to comment on. I'm not going to comment on San Diego or Vancouver because they are what they are. Mexico City I'll comment on because I don't know if they're being ran by cartel money. What's going on down there? But
this Ricky Guzman contract's hilarious.
The Guzman, Andre Crawford stuff is a pure front for something else that's going on in Mexico City. I don't know what it is.
Look at the money on the Guzman, though. He's only giving him $2 million a year after 2027, which is
Guzman. All right, so Guzman is he a Hall of Famer? I don't know, but I guess he is. He's least, if anybody's familiar with the other league, major leagues. He's Lee Smith. The guy's never pitched in a big game ever. And he might get my vote, yeah. But yeah, I don't know what's going on down there. That contract isn't the worst. The one that he gave to Crawford is insane to me. But whatever.
I don't hate it. It's $10 million a year, and honestly, when a guy hits 42, like if a guy makes it this far, he's literally, I feel like, almost always
5 years.
He's not going to go that long. He's just going to retire, and that money's going to come off the books. Like that's what's.
He may not.
He will at some point. Like maybe.
Once again, there's something else going on down there.
I've never seen a guy. I think I saw Phil Crawford in this league play to 44 or 45. Maybe Alex Lopez pitched to 45, but I don't see this guy going anywhere.
He's still tagged as durable.
So.
And
I like it. I don't hate it.
I do like it. I do like it because there needs to be a GM to see if they can actually do this. And that's what's going on there.
I mean, the only thing he did wrong is he should have given him like $2 million over the next few years, and then like $50 million in year 46 and year 47.
That wouldn't raise any red flags with the Department of Justice, but whatever.
Yeah. Now again, I don't know. Mexico City's got a long ways to go to get back into a competitive window, so might as well pay these old dinosaurs to fill the seats. I don't know.
So
yeah, San Diego just needs to export. That would be the first step to recover.
Like I say, Alex, I don't know. You obviously know whatever's going through his mind here. He needs to move off.
He's a busy guy. He's also engaged. He's getting married at the end of the year, so he's got a lot going on.
Yeah, exactly. Real life stuff always is gonna.
Happy he's still hanging around, and if he wants to continue to run his team.
Sounds like he's about to leave.
It's up to him, But he hits moments where he's less engaged, and then moments where he's more engaged. So hopefully he comes back to the more engaged side. Vancouver, I'll give him credit. Ton of action in the Rule 5 draft, ton of action at the trade deadline. So starting to be a little more active. This is the real test. Okay, not terrible.
Yeah.
Not terrible.
I like what Vancouver actually did this year.
Yeah, it looks like the minor leagues, there's some attention being paid again.
Yeah.
So, hey, maybe I'm on the way back.
Okay, I think that this is the best the TBL has been as far as activity and pride. I think that, a team like Vancouver may have heard some things, may have seen an SI cover or two that has forced them to actually run a legit talent acquisition organization. He's done a good job, bringing in some talent for the first time in whatever. But hats off, credit to him.
Yep. So now we're gonna expand and realign, and I'm gonna handpick the GM.
Really?
Just kidding. No, we're losing 2 GMs, so we're bringing in some new guys. So until we have a really steady core for a long time, I wouldn't really consider expansion. I thought we were there, and you never know when someone's going to walk away, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but that's a good wrap up. We did it in pretty record time, less than 2 hours. We covered the whole league. I don't think we ever do that. So,
no.
I'm going to give it like a 15-minute break here, and then if anybody's listening and is paying attention, we'll run the playoffs at like 11:30. At least games 1 through 4 in the wild card. So.
Yeah. So
are you sticking around for that, JR, or are you bouncing off?
I don't think I'll be available for that.
No worries. Good.
Yeah, but maybe one later.
For sure, yeah. Whenever you want to hop back on, you're more than welcome. And thanks again for breaking down the league with me. I know I appreciate it. I think the league appreciates it. So good luck to all our teams. Yeah.
Definitely.
Since I have you at the end here, why don't we just do matchups real quick? Let's see who you got.
New York.
You got New York beating Somerville?
Yep, I got Denver.
Okay. Denver.
New Orleans.
New Orleans over Baltimore.
Louisville.
Okay. Yep. Louisville over SoCal.
San Antonio and Phoenix.
All right. Yeah. I'm gonna go kind of the opposite on most of these. I think I've got Somerville. I also have Denver. I have Baltimore. I have the Sasquatches. I'm going to go with San Antonio on this one. And I think Phoenix could, but I'm going to give Virginia the nod. So,
Yeah.
but all right, cool. All right, we'll hop into it in about 15 minutes here. I'll probably drop it.
Sounds good. Good luck, everybody. Enjoy the playoffs.